come to my interview. So, my man, what's your name?
Roman.
His name is Roman. So, Roman, could you please tell my subscribers where are you from? How long have you been in Tanzania? When are you planning to leave? Then we should catch up with other things. You're welcome.
All right. Like I said, my name is Roman. I've been here for a total of 1 month and maybe 2 or 3 days. And I really like it here so far. I'm from the United States, and I plan on going back there January 25th. And I'm really enjoying my time here in Tanzania right now. This is the first African country that I've been to, and just for me to be here and experience everything that's going on, experience the culture, experience learning Swahili. I did try to learn Swahili from a book that I brought in the United States, but
So, my man Roman, you've told me you are in Tanzania for 1 month. I will just ask you a very first question and simple question. Why did you choose Tanzania of all the African countries, from USA to Tanzania? Why Tanzania? Explain to my fans so that they can also think of one day coming to Tanzania. You're welcome.
I came to Tanzania because when I started researching Africa, of course I didn't know what country I wanted to come to. But in the end, I kept seeing videos about Zanzibar. Zanzibar being a very big tourist attraction, and of course when I first saw it I wanted to go there just because of Stone Town and just how blue the water looked and all of that. Honestly, I haven't even been there yet. Like, I've been so caught up in just being around here in the local city of it all that like I haven't even wanted to go to Zanzibar yet. Like you said, we met on the train. Like, we met on the train when I was on the way to Moshi. So from Moshi, I ended up going to like the foothills of Kilimanjaro into.
So, my man, I just ask you a question that when you're from Tanzania, where will you be heading? What are other regions in Tanzania or around Africa will you be visiting? You've just told me around South Africa, you've told me Kenya. Perhaps, why South Africa?
South Africa because Cape Town. Like, Cape Town is a place that I hear about all the time, and I know that it's supposed to be a little rough there and all that. It's just a place that I would want to go just to experience the life and everyday hustles of Africans out there. That's pretty much it.
I'm so happy to hear that you want to go and experience the Cape Town, but something very special about the Cape Town, we as historians, I want to tell you one thing. That's the first place where the colonialists set up their basement. That Cape Town is something like a hill entering in water. That's how you can see Kigamboni, somewhere where you're living right now. That's how Cape Town is. It's some segment of the Africa's land entering in water. So when the whites came, we are very in love with that place. So when you go there, I've never been in South Africa, but that's how the history tells us. So when you're in South Africa, make sure you visit the Cape Towns, meet the Zulu people. The biggest tribe that is in South Africa are the Zulu people. So you also told me Kenya. Why Kenya, my man Roman?
Well, Kenya because, like I said, I have a cousin that's already been there, and she told me that she loved it out there. Me, for Kenya, I want to go because, well, number one, they speak Swahili, but their Swahili is a little different from Swahili in Tanzania. Like, they speak Swahili and English. So I'm just going there to figure out would Swahili be easier for me while I'm talking to people versus the Swahili that I'm speaking here with Tanzanian folk, which is kind of hard for me right now just because I don't know the dialect. Everybody has a different accent here also. So it makes it a little bit more challenging for me to actually listen and understand everything that's being said without me having to ask twice.
So thank you very much. You're very interested in East African countries because you love our language, Kiswahili. So one thing about Kiswahili, I want to tell my people in this interview that Kiswahili can be spoken by anyone. Kiswahili is a very simple language. I think you have witnessed that. So all you need to do is to ask and live with someone who speaks Swahili. You should ask wherever someone speaks Swahili, just ask what do you mean, because those are the same words you'll be using. Likewise to me, my man Roman, something I want to share with you in this interview is that I spent only 1 month learning English after my dad speaking seriously to me. You need to learn English. English can take you wherever you can be. And I'm using English to communicate to you right now. So my man, before we get into a first step of our interview, I just want you to tell me, what's the experience of you getting from Chicago to Africa? What are the challenges have you faced in your journey where you're coming from the United States to Africa? Because you know, when you're traveling, sometimes the journeys are not always cool, super cool. You meet a lot of challenges. So what are the challenges that you've met while you're traveling from Chicago to Africa? You're welcome.
All right, so the first challenge that I had was I wanted to come here last year, not this year, but last year, of course, COVID and Corona. Everybody knows about that. It affected the world very seriously. With Corona being in place, like I was not able to get my flight the first time that I wanted to do it, which was in December of last year. Another challenge was me getting my immunizations. Like I had to go and find someplace in order to actually get it, because like I would get the runarounds about where I can go and get the shots that I needed, such as like typhoid fever or yellow fever and all those things. After I got the immunizations and I was cleared for the COVID and all that and came back this year, another challenge that I had was an actual, what was it, like 30-hour flight to get here. So it was, let's just say that was the challenge in itself. If you're a person like me and you don't necessarily like to fly, it can be challenging because you're just uncomfortable or jittery the whole time. So, I mean, past that, the challenges just to get here was minimal because it's like I want to be here. So as long as you really want to be somewhere, like the challenges won't matter.
Thank you very much. You've just awakened me on one issue that when you're traveling here, you spent around 30 hours in a flight. So it was your longest route in air?
Yes, it was.
So
definitely.
what places did you land before getting into Tanzania? Because from Chicago, I don't think you can travel straight to Tanzania. Which places did you drop by first?
First you drop by Qatar, I think that's in Saudi Arabia, correct? Then you stop in Kilimanjaro, and then you fly all the way to Tanzania. So those were the places that I actually stopped.
So thank you very much for letting us know all the route from Chicago to Saudi Arabia, Qatar, from Qatar to Tanzania. So it has been, how much have you used so far in your journey, just for the transport from the United States to Qatar to Tanzania? If you just try to sum that money, how much have you used for your journey, the expense of your journey?
So the expense of my journey getting here and returning was about $1,200 US, and that's for my ticket here and back on January 25th.
So you bought a ticket to Tanzania and then back to the United States, the coming and going ticket?
Right. I come to Tanzania and then I return on that same $1,200. Now, in order for me to find that price, I did have to go and research a few different times in a few different months in order for me to get that type of price, because every other price was something like $3,000 US, $5,000 US, and then it also depends on which class you're flying. You know, I chose economy class just because I'm coming over here, I'm not rich or anything like that. This is a trip that I had to save up for. So if you do your due diligence and then you just research and everything, you will find what you want at a reasonable price.
That's super cool. $12,000 is around how much in Tanzania?
No, $1,200.
$1,200,000. How much is that in our country?
$1,200 in this country is, let me see, 500 is like $1 million for you guys. So it's like 6 million Tanzanian shillings for you guys.
Yeah, it might be around 2.6 million because our Tanzanian shilling compared to the dollar is around 500 minimum.
Minimum. I believe the exchange rate for the Tanzanian shilling right now is $2,335. In most banks that are around here. Some of them actually have a lower rate and some of them have a little bit of a higher rate. So if you are coming to Tanzania and you want to exchange money, do your best to look for the best price possible. And another thing I would say for the Tanzanian shilling as far as exchanging money is some banks don't accept money, US money past the year 2013. And if you come with bigger bills such as 50s or $100 bills, you get a better exchange rate. So if you do plan on traveling here, just keep that in mind.
So you mean it depends on how much you're exchanging?
No, I mean like the actual bills, the notes. Like you have $100 bills US, $50 bills, $20 bills, $5 bills, $10 bills once. If you come here with 50s and 100s, the notes, you get a better exchange rate for those notes than you would get for the 20s, 10s, and the 5s and the 1s.
So, my man Roman, let's not dig deep about the expense of the journey. What I was just trying to mean here, I was just trying to sum up the expense of the traveling journey from the United States via Qatar to Tanzania. So, I'm going to be asking him, for the first time when he was telling the friends that I'm going to Tanzania, I'm going to an African country, what did the friends tell him? What did the people, the family around him talk to him? The family. First I want to know, Mr. Roman, are you married? Do you have kids? When you introduced that I'm going to Africa only to travel and explore that country and all that continent, what was the reaction of the people? What was the super reaction? I just want to tell me, I just want you to explain to my fans so that we can continue getting more people and sharing this beautiful spa. You know, right now, Mr. Roman, I just want you to be free and tell me, how do people from the United States hear and speak about Africa? Because right now we are facing, as you can see, people are driving their cars. I think the cameraman should show the people how people are driving their cars. People are living their best life in Tanzania. So you can just see people, very civilized, smart people living their life in Africa. So back to the point, we can just say that I want you to give me the reaction when you just told your homies around the hood that I'm going to, because you're not a rich guy, Mr. Roman, you're a normal super guy, you speak to the people, you talk to a lot of people, you travel around using the local transports. So tell me the reaction of people once you say, I'm going to Africa. You're welcome, Mr. Roman.
So when I first told people that I was going to Africa, everybody thought that I was, I'm going to say mad, like, you're going to Africa? Really? For real? For what? There's nothing out there. Like, you're tripping right now. Like, there's plenty of things in Africa right now that people can go and experience and then not have an issue with. My reaction from my family was, well, why are you going over there? What for? And my answer was just because I want to. I want to see the place that we came from. Like, I've been to Bagamoyo also. Like, I haven't mentioned that, but I've been to Bagamoyo, just at the slave port out here. And it was a humbling experience, I gotta say that. Like, it's just something that you should see and experience if you decide to come out here.
Yes, Bagamoyo is a slave spa.
Yeah, the old slave port.
Yes.
So, the reaction from my friends was, of course, like, I was crazy. The reaction from my family is why. But once I got out here and I started taking pictures and I started sending them back, they're like, oh, Africa isn't just like dirt roads and lions and people sleeping under trees and everything. I'm like, no, it's not. It never, I mean, at one point I imagine it could have been, but Africa is very developed right now. They have banks, they have restaurants, they have hotels. We're sitting at a Holiday Inn hotel right now. And not many people would want to believe that, but it's true. So that's why I say, like, I would like to go and experience things for myself rather than just believe somebody's, what they're gonna tell me.
One thing I want just to share with you, you see this hotel you slept in when you arrived in Tanzania?
Yeah, this is the first hotel that I slept in when I got here.
So this hotel, for people who are living here, the locals, you must be super rich sleeping here. But what I want to share with people from the United States, that your man, Roman, was able to sleep in a building whereby the richest people in Tanzania do sleep. So he's not rich, he's from USA, but when he came to Africa, he was using, and he is still using, the facilities of people who are rich, who are super rich, because people from the United States or people from around the world, your money in Africa is worth it. So when you come here, you get the best services that are found in our countries. So we welcome you, continue coming, continue loving our country. So my man, you have just told me that when you first told your relatives, your friends that I'm going to Africa, people were like, you're wasting your time, there's no need to go there. So right now, what do you see? What are you carrying? What is the message you're carrying to the United States about the culture, the travel, your family? Explain to my fans, perhaps, what kind of family do you have right now? What people have you left in the USA who are thinking that, yo, our man is going to be back in January, we're going to miss him this Christmas, this Happy New Year, we're going to miss him all the time. Share my views and let them know your family.
Okay, I got 2 daughters.
2 daughters, what are their names?
Jade and Janelle.
Jane and Janelle. How old are they?
Jade is 14 now, Janelle is 4.
Okay, are they studying? Are they in school?
They're both, well, Jade is in school, Janelle is she'll be going to preschool next year. I'm sorry, not preschool, kindergarten next year. Because like the school systems in the United States are a little bit different from the school systems here. Like I'm not exactly sure how you guys are graded, like Form 1, Form 2, 3, and 4, correct? Okay, so I'm guessing Janelle would be starting Form 1 for you guys if it was like that. But I got a dad that's still alive, and he was actually one of the people who encouraged me coming out here after I told him that I was serious about coming out here. Like I said, I tried to come out here the year before, and I guess he didn't really hear what I was saying at first. But then after everything caught on that I was really coming, he started encouraging me even more just to come because I guess he just wants me to be happy with things. I have plenty of friends in Chicago, like like I said, they were like, why am I going? But once I started sending pictures back, they were like, whoa. They couldn't believe everything that they were seeing.